Hey guys, it's Ornlu, and so the new patch is live now with all of the crazy new balance changes and whatnot. But earlier this week, when it was still on the pup, I ended up doing some testing of these changes live on stream. And since the pup patch is the same as the live patch, we can just say that we were testing out the new balance changes for the current patch of the game. And so I thought that for YouTube, it would be nice to have a little bit of a clip show of all of the highlights because people like that when I did that with the April patch. So let's just get right into it. All right, first important test. Yay! We did it, guys! Transport ships work! Might not be the prettiest way in the world, but nevertheless, this will still get us where we need to go in post-imp. Because remember, Guild Nets was nerfed from 25 down to 20%. So this is going to be pretty relevant for things like Black Forest. Also in the context of you can make fish traps insanely efficiently now. I know it's not the sexiest thing in the world, but it is important. Okay, so that's 2012 food. So we have 10 basically perfectly placed or 8 perfectly placed farms in post-imp, and we're seeing if that is still a little slower than 8 perfectly placed fish traps after the nerf to gill nets. 8 perfectly placed fish traps gave us 2012 food. The 8 perfectly placed farmers gave us 1955 food. So it is still a little bit better to have the fish traps than it is to have the farm. So BF players can rejoice. These knights don't even have full upgrades, they just have bloodlines and +1/+1. Yeah, that's pretty underwhelming. It's still very slow and clunky to micro them. And this is 10 on 10, and the Hussite wagons are much more expensive. It's really not that impressive of a unit still. I mean, like, we can try them versus champions or whatever. It doesn't really matter, though. The change wasn't to the unit's, like, combat stats, just how easy is it to micro. It's still insanely clunky. Yeah. We're gonna give these guys both full Castle Age upgrades, but remember, of course, that it takes a lot more to fully upgrade a Konik than it does a Knight. But the Knights are slightly more expensive. Okay, regular Koniks. That's decisive. Yeah, this is with stirrups. But remember, with stirrups, they only have the, Actually, it's still a slightly slower attack speed than Knights, because it goes from 2.4 to 1.9, whereas Knights have 1.8. So Koniks have just a very, very slow attack speed without that upgrade. Alright, so Koniks have full Castle Age upgrades, so do the Knights, so do the Camels. Wow. We had 8 Konix dismounted. 2 units were killed completely. So, yeah, that is pretty insane. The camels didn't lose all that much against the knights. 20 pikemen versus 15 knights slash Konix. It should be an easy clap. Well, almost all of the Konix were dismounted, but this is where those infantry buffs come in massively. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we lost 0 units there. Completely. There's the 1 Konix that's still mounted, and then there's the 14 dismounted Konix, none of which even took all that much damage. Whereas the pikemen won very decisively against the knights. Okay, this looked like both groups of units were doing their thing. Well, that's decisive. Just want to make sure all my units are attacking. Because it seems like the AI does a better job of just having the units walk forward. Oh, yeah. Look at this, guys. Yeah, the units were just derping around again. Oh, man. I mean, 2 extra melee armor, guys. That is not half bad. I still didn't lose any units. Well, I mean, completely. Konix are kind of insane now. So we're gonna test the blast damage of the towers. Well, it's definitely dealing some blast damage. I don't know how effective this is, though. Greek fire on Drummonds? No, we're doing that next. Guys, not impressive. Moral of the story, it's not a big difference, no matter how you cut it. Alright, but now we need to try the Drummonds. Well, remember that the Byzantine one is attacking faster as well. Also, you get fire from the Drummond shots, which is pretty awesome. But the blast damage increase isn't that big. Like, I have these longboats on adjacent tiles, and that one isn't taking any extra damage. Like, most of this is coming from the faster attack speed. Much more than the extra blast radius. Oh, look at that. That's okay, that's a fast training elephant archer, guys. That's what? 10% plus 25% plus 25%? So it's 60%. Then there's conscription, which is 33%. So, what? 88% faster training elephant archers? Alright, let's see how ridiculous this is. 4 in-game seconds! Okay, much better. Alright, we can see how long it is to produce a full queue of 15 units. Like 10 seconds. It's around 10 seconds. Okay, so... yeah, 13 wood and 18 wood. So that is 48 total resources for halbs. Yeah, 48 and 43. Is that... how comparable is that to Byzantines? 45 for both. So you actually have slightly cheaper skirmishers than Byzantines and very slightly more expensive halbs. So you literally have cheaper than Byzantine skirms as Koreans and free armor. I mean, we actually don't need to really test, because if you think about it, Korean trash is now very comparable to Byzantine trash. Just cheaper on the wood cost and more expensive on the food cost. And I think most of us already have a pretty good idea of what Byzantine trash spam is like, in that it's crazy. And Koreans is now exactly the same. You've got full upgrades on your skirms with the free armor, and you've got halbs that are just missing blast furnace. So that's pretty good, as in insanely good. So I think Koreans, next patch, guys, are going to probably jump up to maybe high B tier, low A tier on Arabia, and probably A tier on Arena as well. They're still probably a little bit worse than Byzantines, because Byzantines have the cheap imp. Bad monks? Yeah, but you have the towers, right?
And that is it for the testing, guys. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. I know I've learned plenty. But of course, an extra special thanks to my Patreon subscribers, with Anonymous and Tristan in the Great Wolf tier, and then Carolyn, Donnie, Elvanor, Fryru, Tanduri, and Folder in the Dire Wolf tier. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.